So we've got the new FEH trailer. It's characters that we've already seen on the FEH channel, but we're gonna watch it and react to it anyway. Sorry about the audio balancing. I'm doing my best. All right. She has a generic bow. That's interesting. Is Echidna in the 3-4-star pool? Not for a bit. Speaking of Echidna, we have Chad Echidna here.
I've got fire in my veins. Cut me and you'll get burned.
That doesn't check out. Fire cannot be in veins. I'm seeing new foil skills. That's interesting.
My flame won't flicker.
Alright, we got Fashion Forward Forest.
Be honest, my outfit, too much or not enough?
Too much or not enough? What a kit. Bravo. They really couldn't just... I wish he was just a direct emote. I really miss the direct emotes. I really do. I would even, like, if we got, like, 3 character focuses, you know? And we got Lilith, who's a blue flying dragon. Joint drive attack? That's new, okay. I like Lilith's human form, but her dragon form is super lame. Alright, and then I saw in the Discord, we already know who the GHB is. It's Iago. So that's interesting. We got some familiar faces here as well in the story. I'm not a fan of characters like Iago being the Grand Hero battle units, because like I feel like with some GHBs, like they're either characters you end up recruiting anyway, or they're just like villains who at least have like redeeming qualities, like Camus or Xander. But like with Iago, he's literally just a shithead. Like you may as well make like Hans a GHB. Yeah, I don't know. I can't like who's looking forward to Iago being in the game? Whatever. That might just be me. I feel like there were several other like good GHB candidates, but whatever. It's not that big a deal. Maybe he'll just have good fodder and that will be it. Seems like he has high HP. That's notable. Why does he have such high HP? Alright, anyway. They could have done Hans. Or Hans. Alright, let's review. So we already know who the characters are, so we don't have to gush over that. I actually have very little attachment to these characters. I haven't used any of them, I don't think. Alright, we got Midori. She's an infantry red bow. She has a new generic bow, which is Spendthrift Bow. Effective against flying foes. Grants attack +7 to unit. And inflicts attack -7 on foe during combat. Oh. After combat, if unit attacked, inflict special cooldown count +2 on unit. Okay. That's a little confusing, but I get it. So it's saying she's not inflicting like a guard effect on her opponent. She has special spiral. Yeah, I think that's it. After combat, if unit attacked, inflicts special cooldown count +2 on unit. See, when you say inflicts, like that makes it sound bad, but it's supposed to be good, I'm pretty sure. You don't think it's special spiral? Oh, do you think it's like a drawback? Like it's supposed to be that way on purpose? Your cooldown count goes up. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I like the sound of that actually. It's anti-special spiral. Okay, I'm down for that. That sounds much better. Imagine weapons with actual drawbacks. God forbid. I like that idea a lot actually. I like that. All right, cool. But yeah, just the base effect though is very good. And you know what? It's not even like a player phase thing. She just always has it. Grants attack +7 to unit and inflicts attack -7 on foe during combat. Wow. So this bow would be good for... I mean, my first thought always goes to AR tanking, but yeah. Inflicting attack -7 on your foe, like always, is really good. So she has rally attack defense plus. Spendthrift bow sounds nutty for AR tanking if you do some cooldown shenanigans. Yeah, you can probably set it up so that she still gets her special procs during combat. Although, even if you gave her a moon bow, that only has 2 charge on it. I wonder if that would go all the way up to 4. I bet it actually would. I guess we'll see later. Close foil, I'm guessing it's in the same vein as a warding stance or whatever. I forget what it's called. Cannot exceed... Oh, really? Oh, shoot, you're right. Cannot exceed the unit's maximum special... Oh, okay. Well, you can kind of circumvent that then, because like if you end combat by activating Moonbow or Moonlight, then it doesn't matter if you're already at max. Interesting. Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you for pointing that out, by the way. Sword, lance, axe, bow, dagger, or beast foe initiates combat, grants attack defense +5 to unit during combat, and unit can counterattack regardless of foe's range. I think this is better than the other one we got before, the Pepsi skill. I forget what it's called already, but it's like, it was like warding counter or whatever. I think this is better because it's basically just close counter but better, except you can't counter dragons. So as long as you're not fighting dragons, it is literally just a better close counter. It's kind of like Bowie's perf, right? So yeah, it's pretty good actually. Does Belisina work on bows? I think so. I think it's as long as it's a melee unit. I think it even I think it's supposed to work on beasts as well, but I'm not as certain about that. I'm pretty sure it's any physical weapon. Could be wrong. Alright, we got Rinka, who's apparently very good. Rinka's Club. Accelerate special trigger if foe initiates combat, or if unit's HP less than 100% at start of combat. Grants attack defense +5, and special cooldown charge +1 per foe's attack during combat. Only highest value applied, does not stack special cooldown charge, granted even if foe's attack does. Okay. If foe initiates combat, so like... I'm still not, like, I know I've said this like a dozen times before, but I'm still not a fan of like these effects that have two trigger conditions, and like it's not both, it's one or the other, so it's really easy to trigger them. So if foe initiates combat, or if unit's HP less than 100%, grants attack defense +5, and special cooldown charge +1 per foe's attack during combat. So it's like a, yeah, it's like a breath effect, okay. So it's slaying effect, attack defense, boost, and also breath effect. And on top of that, she doesn't have to put a breath skill on her A slot, so she has room for distant foil. If sword, lance, axe, bow, dagger, or beast foe initiates combat, grants attack defense +5 to unit during combat, and unit can counterattack regardless of foe's range. So that's a little jankier because at range, like, you can get hit by mages, obviously, and she can't counter those, but I don't know, like, you could try and specialize her so that she only wants to fight bows and stuff like that. I could see that working. It is a little janky, though, I will say. I can't think of anybody in my barracks that I would give distant foil to. It's interesting, at least. I like the idea behind these skills, at least. It's like they're at least trying to, like, make more specialized units. And yeah, in chat they're talking about how it's confusing, that sometimes they say plus and sometimes they say negative for the cooldown count. At start of combat, grants blah, and grants special cooldown charge +1 per foe's attack during combat. Yeah, so if you're charging your cooldown, then that means it's going down. So if you're increasing the magnitude of your charge, that means it's going down faster. It's a little confusing. But yeah, it's basically just the breath effect. And then she has Wrath and even defense wave. Pretty cool. She's obviously very good. And it looks like she has a decent amount of HP as well, which is just kind of neat. Probably about 40 HP, maybe a little less. Forest is not worth looking at for very long. This got posted in another chat. Let's see. Ooh. Fire Emblem Heroes voting Jubilee. Alright, let's investigate this. We're interrupting this broadcast to bring you this situation. In this promotional event, players can vote for which of the many characters featured in the Fire Emblem games most closely match the 5 categories announced on this special website. That's weird, okay. The hero you want as a teacher. Oh, okay. So it's like a social media thing. Got it. They're trying to generate social media activity. Yeah, I'm curious how this will go. The memes will be the best part, obviously. I'm curious what this will amount to. Alright, well anyway. That's neat. You know what's not neat? Forest's base kit. It's kind of a disaster, frankly. So we're gonna move on from Forest. Who really should be a direct emote, but whatever. Brigand Boss is still on the list. Of course he is. Why wouldn't he be? Alright. Lilith. Grants speed +3. Unit can move to a space adjacent to a support partner. If unit is within 3 spaces of support partner, grants blah to unit during combat. Oh. So you know what I was thinking earlier is with Bramimund, it's incentivizing you to use units that buff themselves as opposed to units that like get buffed by other people. So like for example, Matilda and Clive, like they're perfs. They get +3 to all stats if they're within 2 spaces of their support partner. So that would be an example of that. See, I don't think it is a power creep of Corrins Are Fine, because Corrins Are Fine just grants the buff to his support partner. And only if they're within 2 spaces. This is like within 3 spaces, so that's, I guess that's the part where you might be thinking of the power creep. It's 3 spaces. But the difference is she grants it to herself. That's a huge buff, yeah. It's a huge buff, and she's gonna have huge BST because she's a new unit. So she's gonna be ridiculous. At least it does force you to actually use the support partner system, kind of like Leela. Reminds me of that. To combine this with Core and Cobbs are fine, +9 to all stats. That is cursed. But yeah, you can do that. And look at this. But wait, there's more. Joint Drive Attack. Grants attack +4 to allies within 2 spaces during combat. If unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack +4 to unit during combat. It was only a matter of time before we started getting skills like this. Joint Drive Attack is a big deal, I think. I want to summon for it, but I'm not going to. Joint Drive Attack feels like a big deal. Although I guess the C slot is very competitive for like tanks. There's always like pulse smoke and defense smoke and stuff like that you have to consider. But yeah, Joint Drive Attack seems like a big deal to me. And that is it. I think Lilith is probably the chase unit, but honestly, Rinka's also very good. So she's a dead ass at Bramimund counter. Exactly, yeah. It's a little cynical how they printed like a really good Bramimund counter right after Bramimund came out. You think they'd wait a couple weeks, a couple days, you know, whatever. She comes in free position too. See, that's the real power creep. She has, okay, so here's something that's interesting. She has attack speed bond 3, which is outdated, but yeah, I guess that's the thing. People don't want to use bond skills anymore because it's just too dangerous to have your units right next to your tanks. Neato. Unfortunately, Rinka does not have the dual club, which is what I wished for. Sudden Panic was a mistake. Sudden Panic is the thing. There we go. Thank you for following. Alphonse wants... Okay. Not reading the rest of that. Thank you for following. Anyway, backdraws aside. Look, man, it's late, alright? It's past my bedtime. And this will be the first banner where they're doing the 47 thing, right? So that makes it a little more attractive, especially for skill fodder. Since Lilith helps you, like, in castle invasions, right? It'd be cool if she had a special effect in Ether Raid's defense, right? Because you can't use her outside of, like, those castle fights, I don't think. If she's sitting right next to her support partner, she gets like 15 attack. 14. Yeah, an ARA skill actually would have made a little more sense, since people don't really want to use attack speed bond anymore.